Weird habits that reveal high intelligence. Have you ever noticed that the people called weird are often the ones who think the most? Not loud thinkers, not show-offs, but the ones quietly observing, overanalyzing, pulling away, or doing things that don't quite fit. Hear us the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. Some habits labeled as strange are actually signs of high intelligence. And misunderstanding them can quietly damage how you see yourself for years. This isn't about IQ scores or sounding smart in conversations. It's about cognitive intelligence, the kind that processes deeply, questions automatically, and doesn't shut off easily. The kind that notices patterns others miss, but also feels out of sync with the world around it. And because this intelligence doesn't always look impressive on the surface, it often gets misread as awkward, antisocial, or too much. That's where the real problem starts. When people repeatedly react to your habits with confusion or judgment, your brain learns a dangerous lesson. Something about me is wrong. So you suppress it, you normalize feeling different. You try to act simpler, quieter, more normal. And slowly, what could have been a strength starts to feel like a flaw. In this video, we're going to break down several weird habits that psychology consistently links to high intelligence habits most people are never taught to recognize. And as we go, you might realize something unsettling but freeing. Maybe you weren't overthinking. Maybe you weren't antisocial. Maybe you weren't strange at all. Maybe you were just wired differently and no one ever explained what that meant. Intelligence doesn't always show up the way people expect. Most of us are taught that being smart means being quick, confident, and socially smooth. But real intelligence often works differently. It pauses, it observes, it questions. And that's exactly why it can look weird. Highly intelligent minds prioritize understanding over fitting in. While others follow routines without thinking, these minds naturally ask why. Why does this rule exist? Why do people do this? Why does no one question it? Ever notice people call you awkward, but you were just 3 steps ahead in thought? That curiosity doesn't always come out politely or on schedule. Sometimes it shows up as silence in a group, sometimes as boredom with small talk, sometimes as pushing back when everyone else is nodding along. And all that time you thought something was wrong with you. It wasn't. You were just thinking differently. Here's the kicker: social systems reward predictability, not depth. They want quick agreement, shared assumptions, and smooth interactions. Intelligence, especially the deep kind, disrupts that flow. Conversations feel slow. Interests don't match the room. Reactions don't follow the script. And yet, those very differences signal brilliance. Later, we'll reveal a habit you might call annoying, but psychologists say it's a sign of high intelligence. Over time, intelligence learns to hide. Not because it disappears, but because it realizes staying quiet is easier than constantly explaining itself. And once you see it, the word weird starts to feel very different. One habit that often gets labeled as strange, but is actually a strong sign of high intelligence, is talking to yourself. Not in a crazy way, but that internal or quiet out-loud dialogue where you reason through problems, rehearse conversations, or test ideas before sharing them. It's the kind of habit that makes people glance at you and think, what's going on in their head? Here's why it matters. High-functioning brains use self-talk to organize thoughts, plan strategies, and predict outcomes. When you silently rehearse what you're going to say, or work through a challenge in your head, your mind is practicing before acting. This isn't overthinking, it's preparation, pattern recognition, and mental simulation all rolled into one. And the social side can be tricky. Because most people don't do this out loud, talking to yourself can look unusual. Friends or coworkers may tease you. You might even start questioning yourself. But psychologists have found that this habit actually strengthens working memory, boosts focus, and helps problem solving. It's a secret superpower your brain is using to stay 2 steps ahead. If you've ever caught yourself muttering a solution under your breath or rehearsing a tricky conversation in the shower, you're not weird. You're processing deeply. Later, we'll look at another habit that makes high intelligence feel strange, one that often shows up in solitude, and why those quiet moments are actually a mental advantage. Another habit that often gets misunderstood is enjoying boredom or simply being comfortable alone. For many people, constant stimulation is the norm. Scrolling social media, chatting with friends, filling every quiet moment with activity. But highly intelligent minds often crave something different. They thrive in silence, using alone time to think, create, and process the world in ways that others can't. Here's the surprising part. What feels boring to others can be a playground for a deep thinker. Solitude allows the brain to explore ideas without interruption, notice patterns, and make connections that aren't obvious. It's where creativity sparks, strategies form, and insights emerge. People who feel restless in social settings aren't antisocial. They simply mentally energized in ways that don't always show externally. This habit can make you seem weird or distant to others. Friends might tease you for disappearing into your own head. Family might worry that you're avoiding social norms, and yourself? You may even start questioning whether you're doing something wrong. But the truth is, enjoying quiet time is a hallmark of high intelligence. It's a sign your brain values depth over distraction, reflection over noise, and understanding over surface-level interaction. If you've ever felt drained after socializing or found your best ideas come when you alone, you're not antisocial, you're tuned differently. Later, we'll explore another weird habit that shows intelligence in action overthinking. It can feel exhausting, but it's actually your mind running a highly advanced internal simulation, spotting patterns others miss. Ever feel trapped in your own thoughts? That's not a flaw, it's your brain running genius simulations. Overthinking often gets labeled as a weakness, replaying conversations, obsessing over tiny choices, imagining worst-case scenarios. But for highly intelligent minds, it's actually a hidden strength. Here's why. When you overthink, your brain is testing possibilities, spotting patterns, and predicting outcomes before they happen. You lie in bed, replaying a 5-minute conversation for an hour, wondering if you said the right thing. Or you agonize over small decisions, convinced one tiny misstep will cascade into disaster. To others, this seems obsessive or anxious. But your mind is quietly running simulations, practicing problem-solving and strategy without anyone noticing. It can feel exhausting, but that exhaustion hides a secret skill. Most people don't see the mental effort going on behind the scenes. They notice only stress and self-doubt, not the pattern recognition and insight developing inside you. Overthinking is one of the clearest, yet most misunderstood signs of high intelligence. It isn't flashy or obvious. It's subtle, quiet, and easily mistaken for a flaw, but gives you an edge others don't have. If you've ever worried that thinking too much is a weakness, you're not broken. You're wired differently. Later, we'll explore another habit that makes intelligent minds stand out, questioning rules and authority, even when everyone else just follows along. And trust me, this one can get you into trouble. While revealing brilliance, one habit often misunderstood, and sometimes even criticized, is questioning rules and authority. Highly intelligent minds rarely accept things at face value. They quietly ask, why? Why is this rule here? Why does this process exist? Why do we do things this way? That curiosity can make you seem rebellious or difficult, but it's actually your brain working in overdrive. This habit often shows up in small, everyday moments, like noticing your manager's instructions don't match reality and silently figuring out why before anyone else even notices. Or questioning a tradition at a family gathering, wondering if it still makes sense. To outsiders, it might look like defiance. But inside, your brain is evaluating patterns, predicting outcomes, and solving problems no one else has considered yet. Here's the tricky part. Questioning authority can feel risky. You hesitate to speak, fearing judgment. Your chest tightens. You wonder if it's worth it, that discomfort? It's your brain running a quiet genius simulation. Each pause, each careful observation is your mind testing boundaries, spotting flaws and learning how systems really work. Many breakthroughs in science, technology, and art started with someone asking why, when everyone else accepted the status quo. That silent questioning, often mistaken for weirdness, is a hallmark of intelligence. If you've ever felt frustrated by rules that don't make sense or annoyed by systems that seem arbitrary, you're not being difficult. You're thinking differently. And next, we'll explore one final habit that's easy to miss but strongly linked to high intelligence, your mind's love for patterns and connecting the dots. The final habit that often gets labeled weird but signals high intelligence Is your brain's love for spotting patterns and connecting the dots? Highly intelligent minds see links where others see chaos. They notice tiny details, subtle repetitions, or unexpected correlations and use them to make sense of complex problems. Imagine catching a small inconsistency in a project report and immediately predicting what it might cause next week. Or noticing a pattern in conversations that hints at someone's mood before they even speak. Others barely notice while your mind races through connections no one else sees. That thrill when a hidden link clicks in your mind, that's your intelligence lighting up. This habit often shows up quietly. Every day, life becomes a mental puzzle, constantly pushing your mind to link ideas and spot hidden insights. You might rearrange information in your head, draw connections between unrelated events, or find solutions everyone else misses. To outsiders, it can seem unusual or even obsessive, but to your brain, it's problem-solving at its highest level. The tricky part is that this ability can make you feel different or even isolated. People might not recognize the leaps your mind makes. But here's the secret. Recognizing this habit is the key to seeing all your so-called weird traits as powerful. It's a hidden superpower that fuels creativity, insight, and innovation. And now, it's time to wrap up and connect all 5 habits, showing why embracing them can completely change how you see yourself. All 5 habits: talking to yourself, enjoying boredom, overthinking, questioning rules, spotting patterns, have one thing in common. They feel strange, but reveal a mind always analyzing, creating, and connecting. That quiet moment when your mind leaps ahead, or when your brain spots a connection no one else sees, that's brilliance, not weirdness. What feels weird is actually your brain operating at a higher level, silently solving problems and generating insights. Notice these habits in yourself, celebrate them. Talking to yourself isn't odd, it's your mind organizing ideas. Enjoying solitude isn't isolation, it's your brain recharging. Overthinking isn't weakness, it's mental problem solving. Questioning rules isn't rebellion, it's critical thinking. Spotting patterns isn't obsession, it's innovation in action. And here's the next step: embrace these traits. See your quirks as hidden strengths and think about how to use them to your advantage. Hit like, subscribe, and share if this resonated. Don't miss our next video. We'll reveal a surprising mental habit that the world calls strange, but one that gives you an edge no one else has.